Is Alberto Del Rio signing with AEW? Well, that's what he's telling people. Also, on top of that, we know AEW has possibly signed a former WWE superstar. In fact, that person actually just debuted at the tapings. Going to give you guys some insight on what to expect there. Also, we have some X-Pac news. This stuff is actually really exciting to me if you're an AEW fan or WWE fan. Impact fan, this is something really cool. So, guys, you already know I'm bringing the latest news and videos and all that good stuff every single day on the channel. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, and don't forget to click that link in the description that says Discord, because we're building a community filled with wrestling fans. It's really cool. You could chat, send GIFs, do all that cool stuff. But now we're going to talk about X-Pac. He was on the WWE's The Bump. X-Pac was on The Bump talking about being medically cleared for a return in ring. And he also made sure to mention that he is available if his phone rings. Now, what's going to be really interesting is who calls first, but I do genuinely believe that X-Pac looks to be in incredible shape in 2021, better than the last time I seen him wrestle in the Indies. But what's really, really interesting here is X-Pac, man, this guy, there is like a serious belief that this guy is going to actually wrestle in 2022. I'm excited about that. I also want to mention, no matter which way you look, whether it's WWE or AEW, I think his role should be the same. I think he could go to either company, and I would be totally cool with it. I want to see X-Pac work with the younger guys. I want to see him give back to the business, something that he's not obviously shy from doing. But also what's really cool is X-Pac going to like NXT 2.0. There's a plethora of talent that can utilize a feud with X-Pac. And it'd be really cool to see X-Pac wrestle. You know, I don't want to see X-Pac the sports entertainer. I want to see X-Pac wrestle. And there's a lot of people on NXT that he can go and wrestle with. Maybe it's for one of their upcoming pay-per-views, whatever it may be. I would like to see it happen. I look at somebody like Grayson Waller, who's trying to get over as a heel. He's doing a fantastic job at making people hate him. So at the end of the day, X-Pac going in as a babyface could be really beneficial. Also, on top of that, I do want to mention X-Pac going to AEW in a similar role to maybe Sting. I know some people think it's like we got to criticize these older guys wrestling. It just depends how they're booked, man. It's not like Goldberg, it's like Goldberg when he went to WWE and won the championship. Like, that was ridiculous, right? But Sting, he goes to AEW. He's putting over Darby. He's putting over Punk. He's putting over all these other people aside from him. And it's also very clear, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, AEW does a really good job with the old guys. Jake the Snake Roberts, again, another fantastic job of somebody they've worked with. X-Pac could be in a similar role. There could be a lot of great stuff that AEW does with X-Pac. Being that he made this announcement on The Bump, I do actually believe he's going to be WWE bound. But it is something that's very interesting because I would like to see one more final run. And who knows what that might be. But I do think NXT would be the most logical spot for him to put over some talent. All right, guys, now this is where things get really juicy. Alberto Del Rio has come out and done an interview with Sportskeeda on their podcast, and he's actually talking about how he's in talks with AEW. And I don't know if this is the most laughable thing I've ever seen. You know, we're ending the year off with a bang. It is December 29th, 2021, and we've had some really crazy wrestling stories, but this one right here might take the cake. Del Rio says, yes, it is possible. I've been talking to a lot of people, and just like I said earlier, I know everybody. They're all talking about it, and they saw what happened, and they know it wasn't fair for me, my career, and my life, so they're all going to be giving me an opportunity. It's just a matter of time for me and them to put something together and decide where we are going to go. This was in response to whether or not he's had talks with AEW, and I don't know if I should be laughing right now or what, because here's the thing. Del Rio is right. He's been cleared of all of his cases, all of his court appearances, and all that stuff. It's done with. It's over. It was cleared, which is fine, whatever. My personal opinion here has a lot to do with just him as a wrestler. AEW should stay far away from Alberto Del Rio. There is no reason to bring him in. There is absolutely no reason for WWE to bring him in. As far as, as talent being from, Latin America, whether they're from Mexico, whether they're Spanish. I mean, look, they got a variety of talent. Both companies have a variety of talent that could speak Spanish. So you don't need this guy. He's not going to be your, back in the day, there was this belief that Del Rio could be like the next Eddie Guerrero. That was a long time ago, right? Back when he was WWE champion. And I can understand why people thought that because of the way he was positioned in the company. But as years went by, it was very clear this guy was never going to be a big star like the way some people would say. I just genuinely think this is ridiculous. I hope AEW stays away. If I'm Tony Khan, I don't even know what I think of this. I don't know if this is actually accurate, but Del Rio has been known for fishing for attention here. I mean, clearly we've seen this before. He's talked about being in talks with WWE and AEW and all this stuff. The idea that he's going to sign with AEW is just ridiculous to me, and as a wrestling fan, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him in WWE. And again, it just has to do with him not being he's not entertaining. He's not that great of a wrestler, and I just don't see the benefit of signing him. There's way more better talent out there. All right, guys. Now we got to talk a little bit about Kenny Marquez, a.k.a. Jake Atlas. He retired. He's actually very transparent about some mental health situations that he was going through. He was released by WWE, I believe, in August. It was around August time where all the cuts happened. He mentioned he was retiring. He was kind of staying away from social media and everything. Now he has shown up on AEW Dark. AEW Dark had some tapings last night on the 28th at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. And Kenny Marquez, a.k.a. Jake Atlas, was there. Now, I actually heard from people that were in attendance that there was some sort of segment or something that happened with him and Tony Khan in which they shook hands, indicating that he signed with AEW. Still waiting for some confirmation there, but there is a belief that Jake Atlas is, in fact, all elite, which makes sense. Again, Tony Khan kind of sticking with this strategy, this formula of signing talent that would be recognized by the hardcore audience and favored by the hardcore audience. Jake Atlas, most famously known for his work in PWG, went to NXT, really did nothing there. Not really his fault. It's just the way it was. And obviously NXT 2.0, it just doesn't fit with him. So, I think he's a fantastic talent. Again, though, I just don't understand why AEW is bringing in all of this new talent, whether it's for one night or for 10 nights or for 2-3 years. There's just so many people on AEW who aren't being used, and I think that right now is the most important thing, is getting people used or get them out of the company, quite honestly. And I know people like to argue this and say, oh, well, they could go work the indies, they can go do this, they can go do that, and that's cool. And I don't hate AEW for that. But my thing is, you're signing them and you're not using them. Kind of reminds me of WWE when they signed the entire indie roster and never used them. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, my personal opinion is this. Jake Atlas is a great talent. I wish things worked out for him in WWE, especially because I do think he would have been a pretty big mid-card act for them, maybe even potentially more, honestly. If they just give him the opportunity, I think it would have been possible, depending on what he brought to the table. So my thing is this. I don't hate the guy. I think he's great. What is AEW going to do in terms of signing people, bringing people in? Even if it's for one night, are you just, why? What's the reason for it? I don't know. I'm very curious to see what that mindset is. And it is what it is. I don't really care. It's AEW Dark. But at the end of the day, I still look at Tony Nese or Jay Lethal, and I'm just thinking, what has AEW done with them since bringing them in? Showing them in the crowd or something like that is just not enough for me. That's my personal opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Crazy news today. If you guys have any more questions or anything else that you guys want to know, drop a comment down below and I'll reach out to you and we'll talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ango. I'll see you next time right here on youtube.com/AngoYT.